This week on Dak and Ju, we have a very special recipe coming up because it's our favorite holiday, Valentine's Day. Prepared a special treat that you can make for your loved ones or for yourself. Yourself, for your cat. Yes.
It's from Food and Wine, but it's actually a Kristen Kish recipe. She won Top Chef, and now she owns Arlo Gray, which is a restaurant in Austin, Texas. She's a total badass. We were rooting for her the whole time. So this recipe calls for a bunch of wild mushrooms. Depending on where you live and the time of year, they may or may not be something that you can find. We have a bunch here, including trumpet and oyster, a kind that starts with a P that I can't remember, and then shiitake. Shiitake mushrooms you can find almost anywhere. They're pretty versatile. I think they have great flavor, so we added in these as well, just to give you an example of a more approachable mushroom. Hard to say how you approach this. I don't really know what the right way is, but I'm gonna make it up. I just cut off the bottom, and it will send all of these little babies flying. Like, are you kidding me? So cute. So once you have your mushrooms prepped, we just want to heat a pan over high heat, and we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Let that get nice and hot until it's just barely smoking.
Is you only put in about 1/3 of the mushrooms at a time because you want them to be in one layer in your pan. If they aren't in one layer, they'll start to steam each other instead of getting nice and caramelized and brown on the outside, which is really important to the flavor of this toast.
So now that these have been browning on one side for about 3 minutes, we're gonna add in just like a small handful of thyme sprigs. You just throw them all in, you don't have to take them off. And then a couple cloves of crushed garlic. So we peeled them completely and smashed them with a knife.
We're also adding about 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. We're gonna give them a good stir, and we're gonna let them cook for another 3 minutes until golden brown.
Pinch of parsley, about a teaspoon of vinegar. The recipe calls for sherry vinegar. I'm just using champagne vinegar because it's what I have on hand. And about a tablespoon of butter. At this point, we've also turned the pan down to about medium instead of high. Oh, you can't tell, but it's definitely not medium. Those look so good.
They smell amazing.
I'm so hungry. We're preheating our oven to 350, and in the meantime, this is brioche. If you haven't had it, it's fabulous. So Crémant is great because depending on the region in France, it may be followed with some other words that we have a hard time pronouncing. But it's a really high quality French sparkling wine, and it is cheaper than champagne. So it's a great option. This one in particular happens to be pink. It's made from 100% Pinot Noir, which we love.
Yeah, like one chef told me, it should sound like a lady's toot. Well, there goes our $20 bottle of wine. I mean, come on, that was pretty good.
It's like we've never opened bubbly before. I don't know what I expected.
That was not a lady's toot.
Depends on the lady. Cheers.
How fun.
That is a tight bubble.
That is one tight bubble. Now that our mushrooms are done being cooked, we have sliced our bread and we put it in the oven, and it's going to cook on both sides for about 8 minutes to get nice and evenly toasted on both sides.
So since we put in whole crushed garlic cloves and the whole thyme sprig, we just need to mine it a little bit and take that stuff out. They gave us the flavor, that's all we need. They can get out of here.
This is the last ingredient that we have to prep. This is the frisée that goes on top. It adds a lot of, fun texture and nice volume to the toast. Now, this is Dakota's second chance cutting this, because the first time, several weeks ago when she made this recipe, she almost cut her finger off. And I was on a nice run, and I got a frantic phone call from Dakota asking me, how do you know when a cut is bad? And I say, like Stitch is bad? And she goes, yeah, like Stitch is bad.
She said, I'll be right there. grab a paper towel, put it over your thumb, and hold it over your head.
And sit down.
I lightly chopped it. I just want it to be in small bite-sized pieces. That way it's not like whacking it in the mouth when you try and eat it. And then I just drizzle it with a little bit of lemon juice. So Julie is just going to quickly brush each toast with a little bit of melted butter. Then you just sprinkle the mushrooms over the top. A sprinkle of chives. This is gonna look like a hot mess real quick, and it's fine. It tastes delicious. You could probably spend more time like making them perfect toast, but for your lover, they're all going in the same place. And then just a little sprinkle of flaky salt if you have it. If you don't, regular salt is fine as well.
Yes. These look so cute, so beautiful. I want that one. I want this one. Okay. Oh my god. So good.
I mean, brioche by itself is so good, but then topped with really ridiculously creamy cheese and really savory mushrooms, and just that acidity from the lemon is so tasty.
And the sweetness of the brioche too. Adds such a good balance to everything else. And then a sip of this, like washes all of the fattiness away. It's the perfect combination.